Hey guys, I've just watched Hey Qween with Sharon Needles and just wanted to give you my thoughts and talk about other things maybe, just see where it goes. Um, yeah, I'm actually quite surprised. Okay, a little bit of backstory. So, due to the drag scene in England being very campy and it seeming very similar to me, I was never, well, especially back in the day, so around the time season four is airing and beforehand. Um, and there's also that's just from my personal experience. That's not verbatim. Sorry. Um, yeah, because of that, I was never into drag particularly. Um, but then a couple of friends of mine pretty much forced me to watch season four, the first episode, and I remember just instantly falling in love with Sharon Needles when she came out on the runway in her zombie look and bled out of her mouth. I'm like, that is the coolest thing. I love this girl. I love this show. This is awesome. And I just got that's what broke the barrier for me. And after that point, I just became obsessed with the show quite quickly. Yes, I got Sharon Needles to thank really for my love of Drag Race and great appreciation of drag generally and all styles of drag now as well. You know, my eyes. She really opened my eyes and made me, ironically, not accept her style of drag. Because I instantly accepted her style of drag, but just, I suppose through RuPaul's Drag Race, just. Sorry, let me silence my phone. I suppose really just opened my eyes to the fact that drag could be so broad generally. Just it wasn't just what I'd experienced myself in England or, what I'd seen on TV. Drag can be virtually anything, and that's probably the thing I find most exciting about drag, and including the upcoming season 8. Like what I'm most excited to see is just what everyone's gonna bring to table, what new things I'm gonna see that I haven't experienced before. I think that's why I loved Pearl so much last season, because I'd never seen anything like it before. Her before, in terms of like her style, her personality, just everything. She was just completely unique to me, and that's why I liked her so much, I think. So I'll just talk about my thoughts on her Hey Qween interview. So sorry, I think I said at the beginning I was quite surprised by the interview. And I suppose the reason for that is she was my favourite drag queen. I championed her the whole way through season 4, obviously. I thought she was awesome. I loved her looks. I had her on a pedestal, definitely. I really, really admired her. But then I heard some things she had done after the show, and obviously I know not to believe everything I hear. And a lot of the things I've watched with her in, to me, she just wasn't particularly likable, I found. And I suppose, went off her because of that interpretation I had of her at that point. So, to be honest, I was really excited and interested to see what she would be like on this episode of Hey Qween. And I was really pleasantly surprised. I thought she was extremely likable, but yet still being completely honest and open and not shying away from her views. Maybe the alcohol has something to do with that. But I think I thought despite her potentially controversial views and a few of the things she said, I thought she was extremely likable. I thought she still showed the same sort of arrogance I'd seen after the show, but for some reason it didn't seem arrogant. It just seemed confident. Like she's like, I would be a fan of me, and fair enough. Like she's awesome. Like her looks are awesome. She's pretty cool generally. I don't know. I just think it just didn't come across as overly arrogant. It just came across as like, I'm dominating this, and she is like, she's epic. The only slight thing I had a problem with is, again, I like the message behind it. I suppose I'll just talk about generally, like her view on PC, things being PC. I suppose it's like a bigger debate generally. So I don't know. I just thought I'd give my 2 cents on the whole PC debate, especially in terms of how Sharon Needles views it. For me, I don't think the whole PC thing is bad at all, really. I think it's good to encourage people to be considerate of everyone's feelings. And I don't know, for example, like the big thing with Drag Race, again, I'm probably going to get loads of hate because of this, was that they were pissed off because they couldn't use the word tranny. And it's like, I feel weird saying that now. But I don't get why they were so, or anyone's just so adamant that they have the right to use that word. And I suppose anyone's got the right to use any word they want, really. But they should be encouraged to use words like that. when it's offending a large community of people. Because, and it's fair enough that they're offended by that, because it's used most often in a derogatory way for people who, you know, are transgendered or transsexual. You know, they don't see themselves as trannies or whatever. You know, it's just, and it's normally used in a hateful context. I know they can say they're reclaiming it and using it a different way. That's absolutely fine. That's great if that's the case, and the people who have been affected by it negatively feel like the word's been reclaimed and they're happy to hear it in that context. But if a large number of that community is saying, no, I have negative associations with that word and it is hurtful for me to hear you using that, or like shemale, for example, then I think that's fair enough. Why would you then at that point say, oh, I understand this is hurting loads of people's feelings, but I want to use this word because, well, I mean, what is the reason? Like, it's just a word. Use a different word instead. You can still make jokes. Like, they've proved that. Like, they changed it by changing it to she done already had herses or whatever. That's funnier anyway. But my point is, you don't need. I mean, I always compare stuff to, like, would you say it in context of, say, a black person? Would you say, oh, I should be allowed to use whatever word it is, you know, because of freedom of speech and all that? But it's like, you wouldn't have the same argument if it was about a word for its viewed as derogatory towards a black person. The argument wouldn't exist, would it? So I suppose it's because that group of people are less prominent and people are less educated about them that, you know, that it doesn't seem like it should be as serious of an issue. When to me, I don't know, I think it is. But anyway, I've gone off on too much of a tangent. The reason I talked about that is because I think it's a good illustration of my thoughts on, like, being PC and PC behavior generally. Like I said before, giving that example, it's about making sure, you know, people don't use hateful words or make people feel uncomfortable in any way. I don't see why there's a massive fight against that. Like, I only think it's a good thing to make people feel as comfortable and not discriminated against as possible. It was also interesting to see how she changed from the show in terms of her attitude, in her look. She looked amazing. Yeah, she just seemed like, yeah, she had grown a lot in a lot of different ways, which was also impressive. So yeah, those are my thoughts my thoughts on her, and also the topic of PC-ness as well. I guess I understand that a lot of people aren't going to like my views, but, you know, it doesn't really matter, does it? At the end of the day, I thought I'd just give my 2 cents. If people are interested, they can listen, get involved. If they're not, then sorry to have wasted your time. But whatever goes on, as long as it's not hateful, or I don't like, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I'd be interested to talk with you about those. And like I said, I'm always open to changing my views. Like, my views aren't stuck in stone. You know, I'm not educated on every tiny thing there is, every nuance of everything. So, you know, I'm sure there are things I haven't thought of in these topics, or information I don't know on Sharon, or, you know, a different way of looking at the PC debate that I haven't thought of before. So yeah, I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts. Yeah, I don't know if you like this sort of video. If you do, then I'll give reviews and thoughts and other things. And if you don't, then I don't know, really. What I can do is sincerely apologise. Yeah, I hope you're all having a nice day. Goodbye.